Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cyrus Webb Presents. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. So glad you guys could join us once again. For those tuning in on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and on X, we're glad that you all could be with us. Going to connect with our friends over on Instagram so they can be a part of our interview as well. And last but certainly not least, we're going to connect with our friends over on Amazon. I'm very excited about this next guest. It's someone that I've known for quite some time. He's not only a friend, but also an award-winning author. I'm talking about Darden North. He's making his first appearance with us here on Amazon, but we've had him on our radio show, Conversations Live in the past. We're going to talk to Darden not only about his writing journey, but also his brand new book that's out called Rooftop. If you guys have not gotten it for yourself, for those joining us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, you guys will find the link there to be able to get it. And also, of course, we'll be able to remind you how to stay connected with Darden as well. We're connecting with our friends over on Amazon now, too, so they can be a part of our conversation. We do have the chat open on all the platforms, so feel free to be able to chime in. We'd love to know your thoughts as well. And we are now live on Amazon Live with Cyrus Webb Presents. If you guys are new to us on Amazon, welcome. Make sure you guys do hit that follow button. You'll see it either here in this corner or down below. You also will see some of the books by our next guest. Darden North is with us here on Amazon Live today to talk about his brand new book, Rooftop. I'm going to highlight it for you guys over on the Amazon side. You can get it in print or the Kindle edition. We're also going to talk to Darden about what it's been like for him to see the early response. Darden, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it.
Cyrus, thank you for having me. It's always so great to get to talk to you. You're a great guy.
Well, thank you so much, Darden. I always enjoy being able to speak with you as well. And you've given us so many great books. I should mention to our audience, too, that Darden is also a fellow Mississippian. So that also makes him a great guy as well. Yeah. Darden, so again, congratulations to you on Rooftop.
Thank
Let's
you.
start there. What has it been like for you to see the early response to the book?
Well, I just happen to have a copy of it right here, actually. And Rooftop is my seventh novel, seventh suspense thriller. It just came out actually early June, very end of May. The response has been thrilling. Everyone has been excited about seeing what the characters have done in this trilogy, which started with Wiggle Room and the Five Manners of Death. And I think everyone's been really excited. You know, they think I should put a book out more than every 2 or 3 years, and I do my best. So, and it's great to be here. It's great to have it out.
Yeah. Well, Darden, you stay pretty busy. I mean, for those who don't know, that Darden's also a doctor as well. So he definitely has a very busy life, which ties in perfectly with the books you've been able to write. I want to highlight for those joining us on the Amazon side, and I appreciate you guys giving us the hearts over there, Fresh Frozen, which is one of my all-time favorite books by Darden North. You guys can see the Kindle edition is there on Amazon for $4.99. You heard Darden mention the other books as well, so I will highlight it for you guys. Wiggle Room, that's over there, as well as, of course, I have the Five Manners of Death here as well. Darden, did you know when you first introduced this trilogy, did you know that it would be not only celebrated the way that it is, but also that Diana Bratton would be as popular as she is?
Well, I didn't, and I didn't really start out to write a trilogy. It just sort of worked out that way. And I introduced Diana as a really more of a minor character in Wiggle Room, and then her growth as a character and a person just continued throughout the book, and she sort of took over the book by the end of it. And then it was natural to bring her into the Five Manners of Death and bring in her sort of crazy Aunt Phoebe and the love interest between her and Brad Cummins, the other surgeon. And then it was a natural thing for them to be married in the new book Rooftop, and for Diana to have grown more into a sleuth as far as helping to solve a lot of the murders and the other crimes that were starting to happen in the Jackson, Mississippi area.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love that. And there's so many different things about your books, Darden, that I think people will relate to. One, of course, is, the whole mystery or thriller aspect of your stories, but also the family dynamic. That is something that you're very much known for. Do you feel like that is one of the popular ingredients for you? Not only, of course, being able to bring in the suspense, but also the family dynamics as well.
I think you're right. And I try to do that, Cyrus. The books, each character has a character arc, the things that they go through and the tribulations and trials they have, and, something that they learn. And hopefully, even though it's a mystery or a thriller, that character has learned something and maybe is a better person, hopefully is a better person at the end of the book. And Dinah has grown into, being a rock star surgeon. She's sort of taken over her practice. She's really the busiest surgeon in the group almost. And she is, fallen in love, got married. She's had a child. The child is now a teenager and driving. She's, got that abusive ex-husband who's in prison, all the things that usually happen to people. And then she's got her family dynamics. She has a great loyalty to her Aunt Phoebe, who is not technically a blood related relative, but really her only relative she has other than her daughter prior to her getting married. So
Yeah.
Phoebe's always there. Phoebe's a very colorful character, and sort of like that crazy aunt who loves you and wants to do for you, but also is quick to tell you when you're doing something wrong.
Right,
Yeah,
right. We all need someone like
you
that.
do. You really
Darden,
do.
you have really in your career, and it's been great watching it over the years. And again, appreciate the hearts over there on Amazon. If you guys have any questions or comments for Darden, make sure you guys put those in the chat there. And what I love is that you're not afraid to tackle some different difficult topics. You do that in Fresh Frozen, which, like I said, is if you guys have not read Fresh Frozen, I keep bringing it up because it definitely is one of those books that draws you in, but also Party Favors. I have my personal copy here as well. How does it all begin for you? Does it begin with a situation for you, Darden, or do you have a character that comes to you that you then start to play with?
Well, sometimes I have a title first. I thought Party
Okay.
Favor was a great title,
Hmm.
and Rooftop just kind of came to me one day, and I built on that. But
Okay.
Party Favors does tackle the opioid crisis. I wrote it during COVID. There were, of course, people succumbing to COVID. It was a terrible thing for the world, but there were just as many people, if not more, dying from narcotic abuse and overdose.
Yeah.
And when my novels are not written to preach something or necessarily to teach something, but if I can bring out a social issue or
Hmm.
something and work it into a crime and a thriller, and expose that issue to people and make them think about it, I try to do that. And so, Party Favors was that opportunity for me.
Hmm.
And again, I'm hoping it may evolve into a trilogy as well. We'll see.
Mm.
We'll see.
Interesting. That's news for me. I did not was not expecting that. So good. Well, Points of Origin is another one that kind of goes into what I mentioned earlier about that family dynamic, but you also build on secrets, and I think that's an interesting connection to Rooftop as well. I have Rooftop on my Kindle here. You guys can get it either in print or the Kindle edition. Talk to us about kind of you mentioned that Rooftop the title came to you first. How did
Right.
the story kind of evolve for you?
Well, the again, I realized that the Dinah Bratton character had grown so, had been so popular, and wanted to bring her back into another story.
Hmm.
And what better way than to have a partner in your surgical group, the husband of a partner in your surgical group, get murdered and to get shot from a rooftop. So that was just a great way to get a plot going. And then I
Yeah.
decided, well, Donna has to be in trouble herself, so she gets held at gunpoint twice, and still has to work, and still has to be a cheerleader mom and those kind of things. But the I really felt like the title Rooftop brought a lot of interest. In fact, and if you can judge a book by a cover, and I really do think my publisher, Wordcraft Press, did a wonderful job on this cover,
Yeah.
and it has gotten a lot of good reviews too, I think. But again, sometimes the title comes first, and that makes me start thinking, and that's part of the fun of being a writer.
Right.
You get to think, you get to imagine.
Right. And I think too to be able to take you even outside of what even though you do write about elements of the world that you know about when it comes to the medical profession, Darden, I love the fact that you're able to create this whole separate universe, of people who know you only as an author. They don't know you for your other life. Talk to us about how this all began. I don't think we've
Well,
ever discussed it for the radio show, Darden. How
we
did
have
you begin the writing journey for
I'll
yourself?
tell you, but it was sort of a funny thing happened at church Sunday. You know how the preacher tells you should, greet everyone, and when the service is over, and introduce yourself. And
Mhm.
at our church, we have name tags. We never remember to bring ours, but it was this young couple sitting in front of us that we really didn't recognize. So when the service is over, I introduced myself, and I said, "I'm Darden North." She said, "You're the author." And I just thought, and it just took me by surprise. And then I said, well, I'm also a gynecologist, because usually people, know me as a gynecologist sometimes, and not as an author. So I thought, gosh, maybe that meant something.
Yeah,
And so I thought that was really neat. But
yeah,
I started writing because there were a lot of other Mississippi writers who were doing the same thing. And many times, doctors think they can do anything. And you want a doctor has self confidence. So I decided I could write a novel. And I had some characters in mind for House Call, my first book, which does involve the young, attractive male gynecologist. Um, and this book came out about 20 years ago. And then once I had the plot to put him in, as far as being fired for being a man, basically was reverse sexual discrimination.
Mm-hmm.
That set it into play. And of course, I had to kill somebody to make it a murder mystery. So that started. And I've had a patient ask me, Dr. North, why does someone always die in your murder mysteries? And I said, well, I'm sorry, but that's got to happen that way. Mm-hmm. So once House Call was written, and we decided to go ahead and self-publish it, and use a professional designer as far as getting the book put together. I'd had Points of Origin written about the time we released House Call. And since House Call sold so well, I thought, well, let's go ahead and get Points of Origin out there. And then here comes your favorite Fresh Frozen, mm-hmm. which was, again, a new story, but did bring the same doctor that was in House Call and mentioned in Points of Origin. But again, not necessarily a trilogy, but I kept that character alive. And then when we got to Wiggle Room and then the 5 Minutes of Death, introduced a whole another set of characters. But each book sort of let me, hone my craft more. And, as an artist, you should get better as you go along. I think if you don't, then something's wrong. Right. So, and each book was a challenge, to get better, to step away from, just the things I knew. And my books do have medical characters, but I don't really consider them about the medicine itself. The medicine is sort of in the background. And so for me to write about an orthopedic surgeon was a little bit different, or for me to write about a trauma surgeon, to write about a female doctor, being a male doctor, those things, to me, that's the challenge of being an author or writer, is you get to put yourself in a whole different place, in a whole different mind, and, really take imagination to the highest degree. I think that's what writing is all about.
It is, and I think it's such a great thing, and it's been great for me to watch you over the years. In fact, I want to give our audience a flashback, Darden. This will be fun for you too. That the last time that we were actually at a book event together, you probably won't remember this, was 7 years ago. We were together, and when I show you the picture, this is so
it's
funny.
Book festival, I guess, maybe.
Yeah. There you go. There we are with.
Oh yeah, okay.
The 5 Minutes of Death. Got my copy signed there in 2018, which is crazy to think about.
We have not changed a bit.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, we look good. It was probably 112 degrees under that tent in August, Mississippi. So I think we look mighty good in that picture.
And look, Darden, things don't change very much considering what the weather's like
That's true.
right now. But I wanted to show that because this is what's so interesting to me about you and watching you over the years, both in person, but also as we've had our interviews up for the radio side, and then of course now with Amazon, is that you have been able to pick up new readers from book to book. Is that one of the wow factors of this career for you, that you have your folks who have followed you since the very beginning, right? But also new people that will find you, like books like Rooftop. Has that been one of the great surprises for you?
It has, because I know they're readers. I have readers in Great Britain. My books have not, to my knowledge, been translated into other languages, but I do have, readers overseas, and that's just, to me, that's just fascinating. Mm-hmm. The books are also in Audible form as well, and I know their listeners are in Great Britain and in the New England area that are in England that are reading them and listening to them. So again, I know that I feel like my reader base is growing, and when I have a book signing, sometimes locally, there'll be people that come that are not the usuals that I expected. Just someone that drives up from Bay St. Louis, or someone that comes up and introduces themselves to me and says that they've read all my books, and I don't know them, and I think that's great. And again, that's part of the fun of this.
Right.
You really appreciate everybody who reads your books, and you really do need reviews. I'm sure you know that, and particularly on Amazon, anytime you get a book, hopefully you like it, but leaving a review, even a short one, is very, very important and very, very helpful for an author.
So very true. I just wanted to say, Darton, that you had a book event recently. I was working, so I wasn't able to make it. But I bring that up because you've seen also in your career the changes that have happened in the
Oh, for
publishing
sure.
industry since you've been on. What has that been like for you, especially now? Of course, we're simulcasting this on Amazon, but also social media. What has it been like for you as an author to have to navigate social media and these other platforms now as you're sharing your work with the world?
Well, I mentioned my first three books were self-published, but the last four I have a independent commercial publisher, WordCrafts Press, who's been wonderful to work with,
Hmm.
and so that's all changed. And when my first book came out, when you had an event, you sent postcards out. You didn't post anything on social media because
Right.
2005 there wasn't a whole lot of that.
Hmm.
And so getting involved with TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. I have a social Facebook page and an author Facebook page, and I'm listed under Darden North, so you can get on all those sites just under my name, Darden North. And I think that's been fun. And my nurse Tony, who's worked with me here at my OBGYN office for over 20 years, is wonderful with social media, and she's taught me all kind of ways to do that. I had someone ask me, "Who does your media program or your social media program?" I said, "Well, I do that myself." And of course, I have help, professional website designers,
Right.
and that thing through the Foscona Media Group. But it is fun to do your own video sometimes. I don't try to be too funny because I have to have a little bit of professionalism in my other career too. So, but again, the social media has been a wonderful way to connect with people, and to get those comments just are great,
Right.
wonderful.
I want to say for those, I see a question about Rooftop being the third book. I do want to say, Darden, now I feel this way as a reader, and of course you're the author, so I'll let you chime in on this too. I do feel like they could start with Rooftop, and
Yes.
they still get a good story. But do you normally recommend people go back and read the other two books in the trilogy?
Well, I want everyone to read all of my seven books, first of all. That'd be great. But a trilogy, by definition, is different from a series. Each
Yeah,
book is a standalone plot. You do not have to read the other books in a trilogy to understand what's going in the book you pick up.
yeah,
So again, you can start with Rooftop, but I did sort of realize I was writing a trilogy about, as I started it, and I thought, let's go ahead and make it a trilogy, because I do think it's great for people to be interested in the other books and to maybe
right,
go back and really see how Diana and the other characters wound up where they are, through the
right.
progression. But again, that's a wonderful question. It is a standalone novel, and you can certainly start with that. And you can really start anywhere with my books and
Yeah.
go backwards and forwards, and I think you'll be all right.
I totally agree with that. Hello to you, Bill's Master Blend, joining us over there on Instagram. John Lechner, hello to you over on IG as well. If you guys are coming in late, don't worry. The replay will be available on all the platforms you guys are watching us on. Again, I've had the privilege today of welcoming my friend, author Darden North, for our broadcast, making his first appearance here on Amazon
It's been
Live. His
great.
newest book, we're going to highlight it for you guys again on Amazon. It's called
Yeah.
Rooftop. However, his other books are here as well on Amazon. So as you heard Darden say, pick them all up. You will enjoy them all. And I think that Darton, the other thing is there's something for everyone. As you mentioned, your books are very timely. It doesn't matter where people live in the country or the world. I think they'll find something they can connect to for sure.
And please check my website. It's dardennorth.com. You can contact me there through the website. Please join my newsletter
Mm,
list. We send it out email maybe twice a year. You will not be spammed, but please do check out my website, dardennorth.com.
love it, Darton. Congratulations to you again. Thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it.
Cyrus, this has been a really great thrill. Thanks so much. Have me
More than
back.
welcome. Hey, look, looking forward to our next chat for sure. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Cyrus Webb Presents. Until next time, you all make it a great one. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Bye bye.